Your website isn't here to just look nice. It also has a strategic function within your business. Yes, we absolutely want to showcase our photos on our website, but oftentimes we see way too much focus put strictly on the photos, and we're missing out on two major things that can have a big impact on how people actually interact with your site and who comes to you from your website. Those two things are the purpose and the function of your website. Hey, I'm Jessie from Inkpot Creative, and we are a brand and web design studio that helps photographers just like you create a strategic and personality-filled online presence so that you don't just have a website that looks great, but you also have one that draws in the exact types of clients that you want to be working with. And in today's video, we're going to go over why the function and purpose of your website matters so much and why we see these beautiful sites fail to actually convert. Now, when you as a photographer look at another photographer's website, you probably look at the photos on the site. That's what you're drawn to. That is what you are focused on, right? You're probably not looking for an actual photographer to photograph something for you. You're going and looking at their work, checking out their photos, the places they've been. So you're not so much focused on what services do they offer? What are they actually saying? Maybe what the pricing is, anything like that. You're strictly thinking, okay, these photos, I like these photos, I like the style, these are really great photos. And as you're looking through, you might be like, this is a great website. It showcases the photos phenomenally. But you as a photographer and what you're looking at on other photographers' websites might be completely different than what someone who is actually looking to book and invest in a photographer is looking at. So yes, these clients want to see beautiful photos on your website. I am not dismissing that. You 100% should have photos on your website that show off some of your best work. But they want to see more of that. Even if you have the most beautiful layout with these big, bold moments, you're showing these emotional photos, you're showing the full range of your photography skill, right? If we have a website that is solely focused on that, really what we're saying is, here's a bunch of great photos, and I'm giving you no other information. They know nothing else about what you might offer, who is the right fit for you, different things that you bring to the wedding day, your value, anything like that, right? We're just saying, hey, I can take great photos. And the downside to that is there's a lot of people that can take great photos, but there might not be a lot of people who can do all of the other things that you also do. So while your website is a way to show off your portfolio and show off your images, it shouldn't only do that. Your website has a purpose far beyond just being a portfolio. So let's talk about this. The purpose of your website. What is the actual purpose of your website? The real purpose of your website is to connect with potential clients and show your value before you even get on a call with them and connect with them in person. This is also where you're going to give them the key information that they are going to need as they're making their decision of who am I going to hire for this service. You want your website to speak directly to your ideal clients and the things that really matter to them. So let's say you are a photographer and you thrive on couples who want those candid moments, who want to actually participate in their wedding day. They don't want to be pulled off and away from all of their guests and their family. They really just want to take the day as it comes and it just gets photographed naturally. Whatever happens, happens. We can show that through our photos. That's great. So when people come in, they're like, oh, you've taken photos of documentary style or candid weddings before. That's great. But we also want to talk about how we make that happen. So maybe that is we go through and are like, we'll help you create a timeline, or we don't pull you away. If you don't want to do this, we're not going to force you into taking any specific photos. Here's how we can actually move around the schedule so we can do the bulk of everything in the morning before your actual ceremony. And then you get to celebrate all of these other things with your actual friends and families and guests, right? So we want to be like, look, I know that this is what you value, and I'm here to make sure that that actually happens on the day. So not only is this a great way to actually connect with people and be like, hey, we have these similar values, these similar things that we really focus on and really care about, but we're also able to show our overall value as a photographer and all the experience and what we bring to the wedding day besides just here's your photos at the end of it. Now, paired along with this, we want to make sure that we're showing testimonials that kind of talk about this experience and the things that your clients really care about. So we don't want a ton of testimonials that are just like, the photos are amazing, I absolutely love them, right? Because they can see that the photos are great. And at the end of the day, if you're putting a testimonial on your website, odds are that person loved the photos, right? We want to focus on the ones that talk about you and the experience you provided and any things that you did that were above and beyond. So if your focus is, I want to make sure you're staying in the moment and I want to make sure you can spend the most amount of time with your family and friends, and you have a bunch of testimonials that talk about how great you were at helping coordinate a schedule and make sure that we had everything that we wanted, but we were able to focus on enjoying our day and we got our photos back. That's exactly what we saw. We saw the incredible moments that we shared with our friends and family, and we didn't feel like we were actually pulled away from them. We want to highlight those testimonials because that's just another layer of social proof of, look, this is what I value. I'm telling you that this is what I value. I'm telling you that this is what I want to happen on your wedding day. And here are other couples that wanted that exact same thing that got that exact same thing when they worked with me. Now, on the flip side, we don't want to talk only about what we can do for them. We also want to make sure that we're giving enough information about the services that we provide so that they kind of get a clearer understanding of what they can expect from us and what they can expect as the end product of this investment. So this does mean giving some background of what the packages are, or the single package that you have, what people are going to get out of it. So this can be things like the different package options that you have. It can be what is actually included in those packages. If you have a specific set of hours, I know a lot of times the number of photos goes back and forth and you're like, sometimes I give you a bunch, sometimes it's more. So we don't have to be like, you're going to get exactly 1,000 photos. But if you're like, this package is 6 hours of coverage, this package is 10. That's super important to know and understand as people are deciding what they actually want. Similarly, if you have any add-ons that you have, so maybe you can add a second photographer or a videographer or any of these different heirloom albums or anything like that, right? We want to make sure that they know that so they know what's included and what they can actually add on. And then optional is the price. I know a lot of people go back and forth on whether they want pricing on the site. This can be an exact price. This can be a starting at. If you have kind of a la carte, you can be like, this is what this is, and people can kind of piece it together. Or you can wait and have that conversation on a call. But we want to make sure that we're giving at least the general breakdown of what people can expect to actually get out of this. So we don't have that awkward conversation when we get on the call and they're like, oh, I was actually looking for something that was 10 hours of coverage and you're telling me you're only going to do 5 in any of your packages. So maybe this isn't a great fit. And it's really great when we're doing this to think about your own buying habits, right? So if you're thinking about buying a product online and you go to the website and there's a ton of photos, it looks amazing. You see all of it, you're like, oh, this is perfect. It looks great. And that is the only information you get from it. You have nothing about what's included in the box. You have no idea about how to actually function it. You have no other information except for the photos. How likely are you to actually purchase that product, right? Because you're kind of going in blind. You're kind of like, I could get this. I hope this is what it is. I hope this is how it works. I hope this is right for, what I need out of it. We want to make sure that our website isn't doing that. We don't want people to be like, these photos are great, but like, what's the whole deal? What am I getting? What am I looking at? What are you helping with? What are you not helping with? All of these questions we want to make sure are answered so that they feel really confident before they actually get on that first call with you. And what this does is it allows that first call to shift from I'm selling myself, I'm selling my value, to we're connecting and getting to know each other and seeing if this is a good personality fit. So you don't feel that kind of salesy, let me just try and throw everything out there and hope that it works, right? We're really able to just be a little more relaxed and connect with people on a personal level and be like, hey, do we think this is the right fit? Yes, no, maybe, and we can kind of go from there. So how do we actually fix this on our own websites? We want to make sure that we're not just showing a bunch of photos, but we're actually backing that up with valuable information of what we value, the things that we want to connect with, the things that we know our ideal clients care about, and do that by speaking directly to those values, to those wants, to those needs. Then we want to back that up with social proof from past clients where we're talking about the experience that they have, right? We want to pull out the specific things that aren't just these photos are amazing, 10 out of 10 recommend, but all of the little things that happened, all of the things that they cared about, that they got exactly what they wanted out of it. That is what we want to highlight. Then we're going to have actual information on our services, packages, anything page, where we go into detail about what package options we have, what's included in there, even just a high level, here's what's included, any add-ons that we have, and potentially pricing if that's something that you want to put on your site. But we're going to give that information so they have that baseline information before we're actually having a one-on-one interaction with them. Now, the other big thing that we see these beautiful websites falling flat on is the actual function of the website. So it's great if you have the most beautiful website in the world, But if people can't actually do what they want to do on it, it might as well be useless, right? Because we're not doing anything beneficial for us. So think about going on a website and you go to click a button and it just doesn't work, or it brings you to the completely wrong page, right? That doesn't function well. That doesn't give you a good user experience, and it doesn't get you to where you need to go. And ultimately, we want this first client experience on our website to be a really great one to set the tone for what they can expect down the line with each interaction they have with us. So there's three main things that we want to focus on here when we're thinking about the function and kind of user experience that people are having on our website. The first thing is going to be that main navigation. So your nav bar, your footer, your mobile menu. We want to make sure that that's super clear, super concise. It's super easy to understand where everything is going, and all of our main links are there. We want people to be able to really quickly find exactly where they want to go. So if they land on your homepage and they're like, great, I want to look at services. I don't want to go through all of this. I just want to look at services. We want to make sure that that services link is right there at the top and they can see it. That contact button is right there. They can go right to your blog and find exactly what they want. So we really want to make sure that the correct links are there. The main links to our pages, the main links that people are going to be looking for are there, and all of them actually work. That's the theme throughout all of this. We want to make sure all the links are actually going to the correct pages as well. Now, second, you want to make sure that you have a lot of buttons. So we don't want people to have to search for the page or the button that they're looking for when they're ready to go there. If they're like, great, this is awesome. I love this overview of the package. I want to learn more about it, or I want to go to the contact page, and there's no button there. They're scrolling up and down. There's no button. They have to go all the way back up to the nav bar, all the way down to the footer to get it. We don't want that. We want the buttons to be right there, super easily accessible, and scattered throughout the page. So as soon as they're like, yeah, this is, you know what, this is it, I'm ready, let's go, there's a contact button right there to go exactly where we want them to go. And this again comes back to the fact that you can have the most beautiful photos that they're like, yes, I would love for my wedding to look like this. But if they're looking at all these photos and they're like, these are perfect, and then they can't figure out where to actually reach out to you, you're losing out on that client and losing out on someone who might be a really good fit for you. Now, the last thing that we want to do is make sure that all of the information that people expect to find on any given page is actually on that page. So when we're looking at what people expect to find on a services page, they expect to find a breakdown of your services, maybe pricing if you're going to put that on there, maybe FAQs so that they can be like, okay, I have these questions and oh, look, there's an FAQ section with all of that. They might also expect to see some sort of process breakdown. What does this actually look like? What does the booking process look like? Or what does the whole process of working together look like, right? So we want to make sure that those things aren't scattered across multiple pages that they have to go through, right? If we put our process on the about page, no one is probably going to go to the about page looking for the process of what it's like working with you, right? They're going to go to your services page or even maybe your contact page. So we want to think about the pages that you expect content to be on and then make sure that we have that content on those pages. We never want people to feel like they're searching through our entire site to see if what they're looking for is there, or going to a different site that has that information in those expected places. So they're not, wasting their time going here, there, and everywhere trying to find it. So when it comes to your website, it's not just about the photos and how good the layout is. It's also about the actual purpose of the site. So highlighting your values, what you bring to the table, and the services you offer, and making sure that it's functional and easy to use. So people are able to navigate it and find the information that they need to know before they're ready to reach out and get in touch with you. This is how we create a better website that doesn't just look great and have great photos on it, but actually connects with people so that when they get on that initial call, it's not you trying to convince them that you're the right fit, but it's them talking about how excited they are to be working with you and creating that initial connection that's going to carry through this entire process. Now, if you need some help actually bringing this to life, that is exactly what the Rebrand Edit does for you. So this is a 5-week brand and web design service where you will have a completely custom brand and website created just for you based off of your personality and what your ideal clients are looking for. So if you want to learn more about that, you can click the link in the description below to learn more about the whole service, everything that's included, and see if it's the right fit for what you are looking for right now. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below or DM us at Inkpot Creative. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.